fabulous DMGLA friends. This is Mrs. Hoffman coming live to you from my kitchen again. We're going to do a project today from the 70s. That's why I'm dressed so fabulously. Today's project requires the use of a stove. So you need to go out and grab your favorite responsible adult and bring them back to help you with today's project. I am a product of the 70s, and this is what we grew up with. A lot of salt dough, Play-Doh, beads on strings, things like that. So I think this is a lot of fun, one of the better ones from my time. So here it is. You're gonna need to gather a few things again. You're gonna need salt, vegetable oil, flour. You can use any kind of flour, but it has to be one of those gluten-y flours. It can't be like almond flour or something like that, because you need that little bit of starch and stretch in there. And you're gonna need cream of tartar. This is a preservative, so if you don't have it, it's no big deal. You can still make it without it. It just helps to make it last a little bit longer. Our favorite food coloring. Okay, so have your adult friend or responsible helper gather a pot. Then you're gonna measure out 2 cups of the flour, and you're gonna add that to the pot. You kind of do this all at once. You don't have to put one in and stir and put the other in and stir. You just kind of dump and go. So a cup of salt. We're gonna do a tablespoon of the oil. Couple drops of food coloring. I don't know, what color is a good color, do you think? I think I'm gonna go with the magenta color today. This pretty little one. So I'm gonna put about 5 or 6 drops in here and see how it goes. We're gonna add 2 cups of water. Boy, that magenta is looking kind of funky right now. Again, this is just a preservative. That's going to be a real pretty color, I think. Okay, so I have this on like a 4 for temperature. And I'm just going to keep it moving so it doesn't stick to the bottom. We don't want anything to burn. And make sure you have an adult with you at this time, because I really don't want anybody getting hurt trying to do this on their own. Okay, and when it's all sticky and gooey like cereal gone bad, then you're gonna pull it off the heat and let it cool a little bit so that you can knead it with your hands and work it into a better consistency, a nicer Play-Doh. Okay, so I've given mine some time to cool, and I'm just going back in with my hands and pulling it out of the pot. It's better to err on the little bit wet side than on the too dry side, because once you've overcooked it, it's too late to go back and fix. So this was a little bit wet, and then as it dried, the salt and everything in this kind of absorbed the extra water that was in it. And now I'm just gonna knead it to make it not so sticky. I'm using a piece of parchment paper just so that it's not all over my counters. And parchment paper or wax paper will kind of help. Parchment paper I feel works a little better, but it's not necessary. You could put a little tiny bit of flour down on your table, on your surface, and work it with the flour to keep it from sticking, but don't add too much because you don't want it to dry out. Okay, so I put mine in Ziploc bags. I didn't have bags big enough for all of it, so I split them into 2 bags, and I think I'm gonna give them to my neighbor because she has grandkids that I think would love that. So that was it. That's another episode of What Are We Making Today? This episode is brought to you by Raspberry Pure Leaf Tea, because Mrs. Hoffman loves tea. By the way, parents and caregivers, if you have any idea what cream of tartar is used for other than making Play-Doh, I would love to hear it. The 2 jars that I've had have been sitting here for the last 20 years since my kids were little and I was making Play-Doh for them. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.